So, friends, when the recruiters come for the interview of the students, I think they are looking for two types of skills, which are hard skills or your academic skills, or you can call it as the technical skills, which we provide them in the form of theoretical content in the classroom and also the practical skills during the workshops and laboratories. Along with that good technical understanding and the subject knowledge, employers also outline a set of skills which they want from an employee. These skills are what they believe will equip the employee to carry out their role to the best of their ability and effectively. Those skills are these soft skills, or these are known as the employability skills. They are also known as the work readiness skills. These are also sometimes referred to as the foundational skills or the transferable skills. Transferable skills means these are the skills which are not specific to one particular career, but are useful across all the employment sectors. When you say the communication skills, I think communication skills is important. I think in every industry, in every kind of career, every kind of employment. So employability depends upon how the students present these skills to their employers. Because I think if you see today, the biggest challenge before the education system is that we are producing a large population of educated unemployed. Besides the other factors like the difference between the demand and supply, there is a mismatch between what students acquire in the classroom and the demands placed on them outside the classrooms. As I said, our graduates, they are not work ready. And if you see the data also, out of the technical manpower which we are producing in our country, I think only 5% people are of international standard. They can get their jobs in good MNCs. 20% are employable, but with some kind of training. And the rest 75% industry says are substandard, are not even trainable. They do not have that kind of level and that kind of temperament that they are can be trained even with the training. So such kind of scenario is there in the country. So I'll briefly tell you about these soft skills, what exactly these are. Before that, I think we'll come to hard skills. I think as everybody knows, hard skills are the technical skills or the your academic skills. These skills are mostly the job specific or are more closely related to the actual task being performed. For example, a hard skill for an IT professional might be the computer programming. While a hard skill for a carpenter, let us say the knowledge of wood framing. A pilot must know how to fly a plane safely. A clerk must have the knowledge of accounting and payroll skills. Dietitian must have the knowledge of diet management and so on. So hard skills refer to a specific trade skills and the specific subject matter expertise that are a prerequisite for any profession. So these skills define how proficient you would be for a particular job profile. Maybe it's civil engineering or mechanical engineering or electronics engineering, and help the recruiters decide whom to hire at the first point. Hard skills are more along, I will say, the lines of what might appear on one's resume. Your education, your experience, your level of expertise, and are very easy for an employer or a recruiters to recognize, because these are hard skills are mostly the quantifiable skills. I will say they can be easily defined, they can be easily evaluated. Like you can evaluate theory through your written test, your quiz, or maybe some kind of assignments, etc. And practical, as I said, through the jobs performed by the students in the laboratories, or maybe in the workshops, you can easily evaluate those skills. Or maybe you can gain these hard skills though through education, or maybe some training programs, or that means which are directly taught in the institutions. And you can also learn these skills while on the job training also. So for years together, I think the focus is on attaining these hard skills. The emphasis is centered only on providing the technical skills necessary to effectively perform. Though technical and job related skills, they are must for getting at least, I will say, the first employment, but not sufficient when it comes to climb up the ladder, or when you have to move between the jobs in the corporate sectors. But as I said, industry expects their employees to have something extra, which are called as the soft skills, which are connecting your classrooms to the careers. So what exactly are these soft skills? How we define these soft skills as, simply put, the soft skills are your personal attributes, your personality traits that allow us to effectively relate to others also. So that means soft skills are the intrapersonal skills, your personal attributes that help you to navigate through the work every day. They define who you are by examining your personality, your character, your emotions, and also the people skills, means your interpersonal features that enable you to form relationships, collaborate, and cooperate in the work environment. These are the skills that dictate how the person interacts with the fellow workers, with his superiors, his subordinates, and his client, means the overall your workplace behavior. These skills promote the collaboration with your colleagues, enabling you to perform your role more effectively. This is a set of skills employers want from the potential employee that go beyond the qualification and the experiences. You can be amazing with your technical know-how, but if not communicated right, or your body language is off, so approaching or communicating with you, I think, will be difficult, and this will hamper your functioning and your career enhancement. So some of these skills may be specific to the particular job, but the vast majority of these soft skills can be used in any employment sectors. That is why these are known as the transferable skills. For example, for the specific, if you are a salesperson, you should have an exhaustive knowledge of your market. I think if you do not have that good command on your language, you will be able to find it difficult to finalize a deal or retain your clients if you lack the soft skills of communication as well as the negotiation. But then good communication skills are required, I think, in any profession. So these skills that turn you into a very attractive candidate and an attractive employee. These soft skills play a very significant role in one's, I think, success in life, particularly in one's professional life. Another features of these soft skills, they are not formal, they are not technical knowledge. This is not something that you can study in a book to get better. But unlike hard skills, you cannot teach soft skills, at least in a traditional classroom, I will say. These are learned as we grow up. These can be developed through training. These are these skills which are displayed through your behavior, your habits, your verbal and non-verbal communications. So they are difficult to explain, but we know when we interact with the person the kind of soft skills he or she has. So as discussed, the hard skills are tangible, but the soft skills are not tangible. And hard skills can be easily evaluated, whereas the soft skills, they are intangible, non-technical abilities. They are much harder to measure and evaluate. Though these days we, I think, have developed certain methods of evaluation of these soft skills also. You might have heard about the rubric design. I think we design some kind of the rubrics where we identify those parameters which are to be evaluated. So we'll come to that also, how these soft skills can be evaluated. So in the nutshell, this is the difference between the hard skills and soft skills. They define suitability to a particular job role, easy to measure, specific in nature, can be learned through training, specific to a related field or a job. But the soft skill is a part of your personality, cannot be quantified. They are very general in nature. You already have those soft skills, they can only be enhanced further, and these are the skills which are applicable universally. So in short, I think you might have heard the word IQ. Your hard skills is your IQ, your mental capability, and soft skill is your EIQ, which is your emotional intelligent quotient, that how emotionally strong you are. An example I think of a difference made by the soft skill, I think in everybody's life, I can say a medical doctor. Though a doctor is required to have an extensive knowledge of hard skills, especially the ability to diagnose and prescribe the treatments for various ailments. But a doctor who has these soft skills of patience, good listening skills, trustworthiness, and more important is the approachability, I think is likely to be highly regarded by their patients. Soft skills are not a replacement for the hard skills or the technical skills. In fact, they are complementary to each other. They serve to unlock the potential of people who are blessed with the hard skills. These are strategic to be successful in your personal as well as your professional life. Students who are able to understand and use these soft skills along with their educational qualifications, I think they are better placed to take advantage of educational and employment opportunities. So both hard skills and soft skills are important. They are supplement to each other. The right balance of these skills on the resume, I think, is the perfect recipe to get hired. But these days, I tell you, the employers look for more soft skills in a person than the hard skills. Any idea, any vague idea? What do you think when you come in contact with your recruiters when they come for the campus placement? How much emphasis they give to the hard skills and how much percentage give to the soft skills? Any rough idea? Yes, please. Any rough idea in the present day scenario? What percentage is given by the industry? Weightage is
60
given
40,
to
ma'am.
hard skills and what given to the soft skills?
60 and 40 ratio, 44 soft skills and 64 technical.
Okay. 60/40. Yes, please. Anybody else?
Yes, for actually it might be like I'm saying that when they look for equal emphasis on both the soft skills as well as hard skills. They are taken to be complementary to each other, like because without soft skills, hard skills might fail to achieve the required target in many contexts. This is what they say
So,
many times, like.
so how much percentage would you give to hard skills and how much to soft
Uh,
skills?
they are equally important, so I would say like 50-50. Both of them are equally important.
Equally important, or let's say 50/50. Somebody has 60/40. So as I think the participants has that 60% to soft skill and 40% to hard skills. But do you think that much of emphasis we give this in our education system? I think it is the reverse.
Exactly, ma'am.
right? But I think, to my surprise, I was under that read an article, which, though the survey was taken at the international level, they had taken a survey of about 350 industries across 15 countries. See, they came out with that the industry gives 80% weightage to the soft skills and 20% to the hard skills. But we in our education system are doing the reverse. They were of the view that, I think, because industry feels that if the student has those soft skills, that kind of temperament to learn, I think we will be able to train the student according to our requirements. Even if he or she lacks certain technical knowledge or certain kind of skills, we will be able to train the person according to our requirements if he or she has that set of soft skills which we require in our industry. So that kind of weightage is being given on the soft skills at the international level. So
Ma'am, I want to say something.
yes, please.
Yeah, ma'am, actually, thank you very much. The data which you have received, you have shared with us.
Mhm.
Secondly, I just wanted to say, as I'm from this field only, right? So, in our education system, especially in technical institution, this is what I feel, that if it comes to soft skills, if it comes to teaching the soft skills, we are giving, we are not giving that kind of edge which technical people are getting. And secondly, when it comes to teach something, so like technical people are on the higher edge and not soft skills, but when they want to when they are having some kind of work related to newsletter, magazine, or drafting a notice or something like that, then they are looking for us. So what, why this like disparity kind of, why is it so, like sometimes it gives a kind of dissatisfaction, that although they know very well that what is our importance, without us they cannot go ahead, but yes, whenever opportunity arises, they always say, what kind of soft skills are required. One person need to be good at technical skills only, this is the important one, and this is a technical institution. So like how to deal with this?
See, ma'am, with the first point, I will say you said the teaching of soft skills. I don't think that we have to teach soft skills to the students. If I teach to the student, what exactly is it? See, what happens in our technical institution is there is a one subject on communication skills, right, which is being taught by the English teacher in the institutions. I think there is where we are going wrong. There is no
Yes
set
ma'am, yes ma'am,
syllabus for
there's
the
no
soft
need to
skills.
teach in
There
that
is
way, practical
nothing like
knowledge is
teaching of,
required.
yes, yes, please. Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm not emphasizing on that subject. I'm just simply saying, if there is a child, there is a boy, there is a student, right? So if he is focusing more on technical knowledge, on the same hand, as a teacher, it's our responsibility to realize, to make them realize that soft skills are equally important. But the wrong message is given by the teachers only, that you put your 100% on technical skills, something will happen. That's what I want to
that
say.
that is what, ma'am, I am emphasizing. That is where we are going wrong. That we are more emphasis is putting on the technical knowledge, providing the technical knowledge. That is why there is a lot of gap what industry demands from our students and what we are teaching them to the students. So they are not able to get the employment. That is why I said these days I think the biggest challenge before the technical education system is that we are producing a large population of educated unemployed. They are not as per the need of the industries. So we will have to, I think, these kind of programs, that is why we conduct, to orient the teachers about the importance of these soft skills. Ultimately, I think they are the change agents. They have to implement those things if they really want to do something for the quality improvement of their students, quality improvement of the technical education system. I think I have answered your question, ma'am,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
or if you have something else in mind.
No, 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 ma'am. Thank you so much. But whatever you are saying, it should be implemented by each and everyone. It becomes
Uh,
our
so-
responsibility only.
sorry, please repeat.
Ma'am, the thing which you are saying, it should be implemented by us only. Only then
Yes, yes, true,
it
ma'am.
might change. Yes.
Yes, I will come to those strategies that how to implement those things. You don't have to develop a new curriculum for the soft skills. You do not have to teach them in a traditional classroom what kind of those strategies which are required in your classroom teaching to develop those skills in the students. So I'll come to that also. So thank you. So I was highlighting the Shah Samir also has raised a hand. Yes, please, sir.
Yes, hello. Very good morning, madam. Am I
Good
audible?
morning. Yes, yes, sir.
Actually, I am Samir Shah from MS University of Baroda, Gujarat.
Mhm.
Uh, what you have said, madam, that is very correct, that 80-20 ratio, that soft skills are 80% and technical know-how is 20%. Being then involved in training and placement activity, that is 100% right, that generally employer or recruiters are told us that he or she must have an learning attitude. ट्रेनिंग तो हम दे देंगे टेक्निकल जो देनी है वो, but he or she must have that attitude of learning. That is
True.
one part. And another point which I would like to highlight is I have been interacting with number of training and placement recruiters and employers and industries. The one issue, I don't know whether it is all over India, but they are saying that we have a issue of
Issue of?
stability of the candidate. Suppose we recruit a 20 guys for a particular industry. Out of 20, at the end of the training or at the end of the year, they will find that hardly 2 or 3 are continuing. Rest of the guys left the institutes or industry. So they have one more issue, that is of stability. Continue with that particular job. So the quality or the attributes of patience, learning patience is also very, very important. And they always wanted to whether I is able to stay with for a longer period of time.
No, what about the stability part? I will say, like, they might have got some other good opportunity. That is why they leave, or what?
No, no. Actually, they did not aware or acquainted with the industrial environment, and suddenly when they switch over from college academic environment to industrial environment, the biggest issue what I have got the feedback from the student, that we are not in a position to stay at a particular place for 8 to 9 hours.
No,
So
but
that is
that is
also
the compulsion of the job that the student will
uh,
have to adhere to. How can they say
uh,
that we cannot stay for
uh,
8 to 9? That means they.
that is what we have
No,
to
but
train
that.
them, and we have to aware them what exactly the industrial environment and culture is.
Yes,
Totally
yeah.
different from that college
Yeah, that is
environment.
there. I think initially, I
uh,
think for the first job, they will find such kind of
it,
yeah, stability because they are not aware with that industrial kind. That is why I put in the curriculum some kind of
uh,
industrial exposure to the student or some kind of industrial training to the students. I think that is the part of the
uh,
curriculum so as to
like
give them the feel of an industry.
industry, yes, exactly.
They will have to prepare themselves that they have to
Themselves.
work for those 8 9 hours. I can understand this kind of
uh,
scenario
Scenario
for
is,
a present day generation that for
and
working long for
particularly in
8 9 hours. But if they have to work, they will have to follow, I think, those
uh,
guidelines. Yeah, true,
uh,
sir. Very nice.
thank you, sir.
Yeah, that is why we say that all those soft skills to make a person ready for the industry are very important. So why soft skills matter? Because so 80-20% data, maybe it is at international level, it could be different for our country. We can say 70-30, or maybe if we are convinced we can 60-40. But I think major emphasis is required on developing these soft skills,
Yes,
because
yes, madam.
otherwise I think as a teacher, I think you will agree with me that in 3 years of diploma programs or 4 years of engineering curriculum, we cannot teach each and everything of the industry which is required by the industry or which is required by the students for their 30 or 40 years of career life. The only things as a teacher what we can do is we can develop the good grasp of those fundamental concepts, or we prepare a student with the positive temperament, willingness to learn, or we will emphasize on the lifelong learning. We have to develop the self learner from our students so that he or she is able to exploit the opportunity when it comes in his or her way. So that
Yes,
is
yes.
what is the purpose of our
Uh,
teaching. And
yes,
those
yes,
are only
madam.
soft skills which I am talking about, that they have to be a self-learner, they are to be lifelong learner, they are should be a good team player, they should have compatibility with the other people to work with, they have a good time management. So all those skills are required by the student to work in the industry. So especially I think if person has the good fundamental of soft skills also, it makes sure that their hard skills also shine, they stand out from the crowd. And especially as I said, in the times of high unemployment, employers have more choice of applicants with the and same kind of technical skills with the same kind of merit positions, but will favor those with well-rounded soft skills. Therefore, the development of soft skills in today's market is important when there is an intense competition for many available positions. I think every youngster at the entry level would face a very highly competitive corporate world where for each advertised vacancy, hundreds and thousands of equally talented candidates would apply. So, in such circumstances, I think qualifications and knowledge that is hardly taught in a particular field will not ensure that one actually is able to get through. The student may be very knowledgeable in his or her field, strong in technical know how, but is not able to express himself or herself, as many of the participants have indicated this. So, to impress the interviewer, I think the candidate should be able to market his knowledge and talent correctly to the person sitting across the table. So, the ability to develop and use soft skills can make the difference between the achiever and the non achiever. You may think that recruiters do not pay much attention to these skills, but that is not the truth. They have a list of important skills that they wish to see in their potential future employees. Because as I said, employers are willing to teach someone the job specific skills required, such as how to operate the pieces of machinery or how to use a particular software package that are very specific to the role of that company. However, they usually want to see that these students already have the soft skills before hiring, because they are much harder to teach when they are at their workplace. Not only this, these soft skills are just not important when you are facing the employer or you are facing the external customer or the client. I think they are equally important when it comes to interact with your colleagues, with your fellow workers, to have good interpersonal relations with them. Soft skills relate to how you work with others, because the success of any workplace, I think, is determined by the cumulative efforts of its employees. So, to take appropriate decisions, to communicate effectively with others, to have a good impression on others, to have a good impact to gain professional development, I think is required at the workplace. So, continued commitment for all the members is what matters. So, to ensure productivity, healthy work culture of your workplace, I think it is necessary that the members get along and collaborate with each other. So, employers value soft skills because they enable people to function well in the teams and in the organizations as a whole. And if people have good interpersonal relations with their fellow workers, I think there will be more harmony and there will be less conflicts among them. बिकॉज आज भी इंडस्ट्री के सामने जो है ना, द प्रॉब्लम इज नॉट ऑफ प्रोडक्टिविटी, देयर मेजर प्रॉब्लम इज द पीपल प्रॉब्लम. So they want to solve their people problems that can be, I think, addressed by the person with the good set of soft skills. So I think which soft skills I think over the last few years, as I said, the setup of modern workplace has changed drastically, especially the post-pandemic work culture has made a vast difference to the workforce, significant revolution in the system of working from virtual meetings to remote offices, adapting to the new scenario, relying on more technology. I think they have already taken place. So with all the new challenges put forth by the pandemic, especially the modern workplaces, they are trying to adjust with the new climate, new conditions to the extent possible. So greater adoption of technology also means new skills in demand across all the jobs. So what do you think? What are the top skills that are required by the industry other than the communication skills these days? What are the other employability skills are required by the industry? Yes, please. Other than the communication skills, I think that has been highlighted by many of our participants. What else you think are required by the students? Yes, please. Any one of you?
Presentation skills.
Sorry?
Presentation skills.
Presentation skills, again, I will say part of communication skills. Whether it is your verbal communication or non-verbal communication, your writing skills, your presentation skills, I think is a part of communication.
I think, madam,
Team building,
adaptability to
negotiation,
change.
emotional
Sorry?
intelligence.
Leadership skills, Madam Sami Ullah Khan has said.
Team building, negotiation, emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, negotiation. So I think we are aware of many of the skills, but the actual scenario which we are not doing at our institution, yeah, creativity is more important. So I think these are the skills. If you go through if you Google somewhere, maybe report comes after 2 3 years. It is in the name of Future of Jobs report that World Economic Forum (WEF) they come out with some kind of survey and the requirement of the industry. So they have cited the various skills as the employer's most favored skills these days are. They have put earlier good communication used to be at the top, but now they have come out with the creativity and critical thinking at number one. Yes, adaptability to change, Mr. Shah, problem solving and decision making skills, adaptability and flexibility, emotional intelligence, somebody has said, yes, lifelong learning, good communication, and positive attitude, your teamwork abilities, your leadership qualities, and your time management skills. I think which is very important in the present scenario where we are going through an era of technology. Everybody has a smart device in their hand to waste a lot of time. I think time management skill has become very important, especially from the students point of view. Some of these, I think, qualities they come naturally, but they can be acquired also through education, through your work, and maybe the daily practice. So I'll briefly explain you about these skills, what exactly are these, and how we can develop these amongst our students. So coming to number one is the creative thinking. See, thinking outside the box and coming up with new solutions or how to do the existing things differently. It is not always that we have to invent something new, but we can also do the present things in a different way. See, regardless of how many machines and the new technologies we have, humans are still better at creativity because they are the ones who will come up with the ideas to use those technologies in an efficient manner. So out of the box thinkers, those who come up with the new ways to apply the technology and to create new products and services, I think they are more in demand by the industry, and human creativity is very critical to move forward. I think we have already seen the importance of creativity and innovation during the time of pandemic also. Businesses that have been able to come up with the ways to deliver services virtually, like the many healthcare providers had done, teleconferencing and providing the video conferencing ke through they were providing the consultation to the patients. Industry, businesses also, they had changed their products and services to meet the that time the needs of the system. For example, this Mercedes Benz, they shifted from the making racing cars to the innovative breathing aids. Auto Joint Mahindra had started manufacturing ventilators at that time. The companies which were making, I think, perfumes and cosmetics, they started making sanitizers. Fashion designers started making fashionable masks. So कहने का मतलब है कि one has to be creative and responsive to the demand of the market, open to experiment new things, embrace the failure and see failure as an opportunity to learn is also a creativity. Employers want people who look at the things from a unique perspective and can offer the alternative suggestions. That means you are open to experiment new things, regardless of how unusual an idea may be. You will be willing to go for it and witness the outcome. Because being creative also means you are ready to face failures with courage. As you say, failures as an opportunity to learn and improve the situation. So this has become very important that we teach our students more about creativity and innovation. This is one of the very important entrepreneurial skills. We have to teach them more about entrepreneurship because the present time is the innovations and creativity. With the shrinking wage employment in all the sectors, many industries even are not sure of their survival, that how they are going to sustain themselves in this era of competition. So students will have to look for self-employment also. Whether they like it or not, entrepreneurship is the best career option. And let's be optimistic, there are a lot of opportunities in this changed scenario also. Only thing is we need to motivate our students to be the job creators and not the job seekers. Related to this is the critical thinking, ability to use logic and reasoning to evaluate the situations, objective approach to find a solution and make an informed decision. So critical thinking is also a very important soft skills that every job profile requires. Critical thinking is the ability to think in an organized and rational manner in order to understand the connection between the ideas and the facts. Critical thinking skills allow you to understand and address these situations based on all available facts and information, because not all the information should be trusted. It helps you to decide what to believe in and what information should be used for decision making based upon the data. In other words, it is thinking about thinking. So being a critical thinker means using logic and reasoning after analyzing all the facts and possible solutions to arrive at the best one. The critical thinking, I think that skills also vary from industry to industry. For example, a plumber evaluates the different types of materials that will best suit a particular job. A judge in the court reviews the evidences, witness, and facts to settle a case in the court. A manager in the industry, I think, analyzes the customer feedback to develop the future products, depending on the feedback of the customer, that what kind of problems they are facing, or what kind of new things they want from the product. Based upon that customer feedback, they come out with the new products. So people who can objectively evaluate information from diverse sources to determine what is credible, I think will be valued by an employer. Though it is a skill that has always been considered essential, but increased complexity, sophistication of businesses, I think, have led the employers to look for critical thinking abilities in the candidates they interview. Because the critical thinking and your creative thinking both are crucial to your problem solving and decision making skills to find new solutions or generate new ideas. Now, as a teacher, you will say how to develop this critical thinking in your students. How can you do that in your classroom teaching? Can anybody give an example? I think to build these critical thinking skills in your students, opportunities need to be provided to consider what can actually be done to remedy this situation. For example, let us say you can give some kind of the current topic to the students. May not be always it is related to the subject. It can be another general topic. For example, let us say global warming. I think every student knows about it. So you can give them certain question about this global warming. Who is to be blamed? Is it the larger organizations that generate pollution on a mass scale, or the individual in their homes? Are they equally responsible? What is the solution to this problem, and what people can do about it? So such kind of can be given to the students. So put your students in the position of let us say decision makers, means the role playing the various positions in the class. For example, I have given in case of global warming situation, who can be responsible? Maybe the industry, or maybe the environmental control agencies is involved to meet the guidelines, or maybe there could be environmental activist is there to campaign to protect our environments. So you can give these kind of roles to different students. I think they will come up with different perspectives. So a critical classroom is not the teacher led now, it is the student centered activity. A teacher should only facilitate student thinking by asking the right questions. So this kind, you can change your methodology to develop this kind of skills in your students. So next, coming to the complex problem solving and decision making. See, this describes the skills required to understand the problems, find the solutions to them, maybe alone or maybe with others, and then take action to address them. So those with a solid sense of creativity are the innovative problem solvers. They have an ability to understand the problems in front of them. So with an understanding of the issues and maybe the previous responses, previous experiences, creative individuals assess what resources are available and develop new approaches to solve the problems within their organizations with the optimum utilization of those resources. Because problem solving is a part and parcel of everyday life in the organizations. Maybe for routine type problems where no new knowledge is needed, you can use your common sense or your previous experience to make a quick decision and solve the problem. But for more complex problems which the students will face at the workplace, or the problems they have not experienced before, I think will likely require a more systematic and logical approach to solve that problem. So for complex problems, you need to know how to divide them into smaller parts that are easier to understand, they are more manageable, and for this you will need to use your creativity and critical thinking. So these skills will help you to think in different and I will say unusual ways about the problems and find the new solutions to the problems or generate new ideas, coupled with the ability to assess information carefully and understand its relevance. So problem solving skills are very important for the students to solve complex problems they encounter both in their academic as well as the professional life. Students who can analyze a problem, identify the potential solutions, evaluate the pros and cons of each solutions, are more likely to find the effective solutions. So problem solving and decision making also, I think they are closely related skills, because making a decision is an important part of the problem. Because when you are solving the problem, in that process you will often be faced with the various options and alternatives. Then ability to use your available information to assess the situation and make an informed choice is known as the decision making skill. So next to this, I think somebody said the adaptability and flexibility also. Quickly adjust to the changing situations. Responding well to changing the responsibilities, ideas, and expectations by the employers, because we are all like to work in our comfort zone. We really do not want to come out of that when we are asked to do certain things in a different ways. But that is not possible every time in our life, because change is inevitable in life. A skill that any student will need through career will be the ability to adapt to any given situation. One thing is for certain, the ways organizations approach, operate, and the work has changed now. I think especially after this COVID scenario 4 5 years back, the way offices function now, we also had to shift from this online teaching learning, and work from home I think has already become a reality. So people with the skill to adapt quickly to these changes would be of great value to their workplaces. Students who are adaptable can adjust to the changes in their academic and work environment. They are able to take on new challenges and learn new skills quickly. They are also better able to work with the people from diverse backgrounds and handle unexpected situations. That kind of flexibility they should have, because there will be, or there are, I will say at present also, there are few jobs which are jobs for life. Today, shelf life of any technology is not more than 3 years, or maybe in the computer area, it may be even less than this. So, someone who is going to succeed will need to be able to adapt to these ever evolving changes at the workplace. One should have the ability to continuously update and refresh their skills to adapt to the new technology as per the demand of the system, because these days it is the uh, survival of the fittest. Earlier it used to be said the survival of the fittest, but now in today's scenario, it is the survival of the quickest, quick in action, quick in decision making, quick in learning, quick to make the changes, and so on. So therefore, people need to commit to learning new skills throughout their careers. They must be adaptable to change. Important to this is the understanding that what worked yesterday is not necessarily the best strategy for tomorrow. So openness to unlearning the old skills is also important. So additionally, people must be cognitively flexible to new ideas and ways of doing the things. So in our day-to-day scenario, or in our classroom scenario, what we can do to make them more adaptable to the changes, but as a teacher, we have the same kind of one strategy which we follow when we come to the classroom. Give them the variety of experiences. One day if you have taken a lecture method, the other day I think go to the group exercises, or maybe go to the some other mode of strategies to give them the seminar in the class. So every day I think you change your strategy. That way they will be able to learn to adapt to the changes occurring every day. That is how we can develop this kind of adaptation in our students. Adaptation also means willingness to learn. You should be open minded, like to learn from your mistakes to invent new and more efficient ways of performing your task. And this is the attitude employers look for. So today, I think adaptability, flexibility, willingness to learn are the most important skills required. So don't be rigid in your thought process. Be flexible. The faster we adapt, I think the better it will be for us. So that is what we have to teach to the students, to provide them the different kind of experience each and every day, so that they also learn to adapt to the changes. Another important is your, somebody said, is the emotional intelligence. I think this is the new entrant on the list, especially after this COVID situation. But now it ranks fairly high on the priority list of the industry, is the emotional intelligence, or we can EI or EIQ also we say that, emotional intelligence quotient is a recent phenomena, a new skill that has been given high weightage by the employers, because it significantly impacts this self motivation of a person by processing and managing various emotions especially in terms of professional relationships and interpersonal communication. Emotional intelligence is nothing but it is recognizing, understanding, and choosing how we think, how we feel, and how we act. It is the emotions who inspire us to do something. This is the emotions, they give us the purpose of life. It includes what we want to learn, how we set priorities, and determine our daily actions. It allows us to exercise self control, how to express our feelings in an appropriate way and at appropriate times, and also being able to empathize with others and work well with them. And these emotional intelligence skills, they fall into two categories: your personal skills, that is your intrapersonal features, and your interpersonal skills means your social skills. So the intrapersonal skills means how we manage ourselves, our self awareness, our self management skills. The self awareness means the skills of knowing one's own strengths, abilities, and as well as your limitations, and knowing how to use those unique attributions to beneficially influence one's own life. So, self awareness is a way for us to explore our individual personalities, our value system, beliefs, our natural inclinations, and our tendencies. Because we are all different in the way we react to the things, we learn, and we synthesize information. So, self awareness is important because when we have a better understanding of ourselves, I think we are empowered to make changes and to build on our areas of strength, as well as identify the areas where we would like to make improvements. So self awareness is often a first step towards the goal setting. It helps us to make choices, take actions, and make decisions that are consistent with your abilities. That is very important from the student's point of view, in which area they are better, in which area they should explore about the opportunities as consistent with their abilities. I think during job interviews also, you might have noticed employers often ask the students, what are your strengths and weaknesses? While this question, I think, put sometimes many students off, but actually they are trying to gauge whether the students are aware of their abilities and competences. They should be focusing on those skills while answering this question to the employer, and how they apply those skills in their everyday life. I think that will be more appropriate answer given to the employer, to the recruiter. So teach them to have a positive self-esteem. It refers to the way they feel about themselves or what other things about you. So people with healthy self-esteem, they trust themselves and their abilities. They are not afraid of what others think about them. So teach them to develop a positive self image or perception, respecting yourself, your choices or decisions, and then also be dedicated to it, not being influenced by what others think of you, because we always want to be somebody else. Positive self talk, optimism means positive thinking along with permitting yourself to make mistakes also. This will increase your confidence. This will make you more confident and more self motivated also, because this is very important aspect of the personal skill, is that which every employer looks for their candidate is whether they are self motivated or not. Employers appreciate the candidates who do not need constant supervision, as it shows their dedication, their passion, and understanding regarding their work. They are intrinsically motivated to do their work, to take initiative. So best thing is such candidates do not limit themselves to just their bit of duties. They are always eager to do more when they are self motivated. This helps them to gather more knowledge, helping them to grow in their career. And the next one is the self management skills here, such as your self discipline as well as self motivation, are also important for the students, as to stay focused on their goals and achieve them. Students who can manage their emotions, prioritize their task effectively, they are better able to handle their stress also and stay on track with their academic as well as career aspirations. The another important aspect of emotional intelligence is your interpersonal skills, your social skills, your social awareness. These are also known as the people skills, which we use to influence how others perceive or receive us, our work, our ideas. So interpersonal skills help us to connect in positive ways with the people we interact with. This also means that you are able to make and keep friendly relationships, understanding and feeling for others, which can be of great importance to our mental as well as social well-being. After all, the workplace is an interpersonal space where the relationships must be built, perspective must be exchanged, and occasionally conflicts must be resolved. So, a person with high intelligence quotient is socially poised, outgoing, and more cheerful. They are not fearful or worried. They are committed to people and the causes. They shoulder their responsibilities and have an ethical outlook. They are more sympathetic and caring in their relationships with others and have a more proper emotional life balance. They are comfortable with self as well as with the others in the social universe in which they live. The next, I think many of you have highlighted, is the communication skills. See, communication is one of the most important employability or the soft skill because it is an essential part of any job. Effective communication includes both your verbal, non-verbal communication. I think it goes beyond a simple exchange of words or gestures and involve the ability to express yourself clearly. Communication is not about, I will say, the mastery in English or any other language, but it has wider domain of establishing connection with others, making them understand what do you exactly want to convey and vice versa. It is the process of meaningful interaction amongst the individuals. These are the skills required to transmit or receive messages accurately to and from other people by speaking or in writing, and that too without misunderstandings. So, another part of this communication, I think, the in addition to your verbal and the non-verbal communication, the another important part of your communication is your listening skills. To be a good communicator, I think you should be a good listener first. Whether you are in a key points and provide an insight into how to respond to them correctly. So I was talking about this, the good communication skills. The major part of this understand others, to know their perspective. I think one should be a good listener first. It is the bigger part of communication. That is why God has given us 2 ears and one mouth. Speak less and listen more. But we mostly listen to react and not to understand, jump to the conclusions fast, and become judgmental. This leads to misunderstanding and arguments. So next are your verbal and non-verbal communication, how you express yourself, your choice of words, your tone, your pitch, your clarity of thoughts, so as to avoid the misinterpretations. Present your ideas appropriately as well as tailor your language depending upon the audience you are speaking to. For example, talking to a teacher or talking to a friend or a boss, I think there is a difference when you are interacting with the different audience. You can see the difference between the political speech and the speech of a religious guru. Your presentation style, your body language, your eye contact with the people, your facial expressions, your body postures, your hand movements, I think all are important when you are communicating. Yes, I think I was here discussing about this communication skills. So I think the writing skills also very important because which is the most important medium of communication at the workplace these days. Various business communications take place via email, and making it more important to know how to convey the messages or give instructions carefully to the others. If instructions are not clear, you cannot get the work you want to be done by others. Here also, when we are sending something in writing to the others, try to use the correct words to avoid misinterpretations. Clarity of your thoughts is must. So communication well with others, being an excellent listener will demonstrate that you are a reliable person. It also shows that you are able to contribute to ideas, discussions, and debates well, and take into considerations other opinions and views of people around. It will help your students in group discussions, interview, and also in the group based projects. So effective communication skills, I think, are important in both your personal as well as professional settings. Students who can communicate clearly both verbally and in writing, I think, are better able to convey their ideas and understand the ideas of others. They are also better able to collaborate with others and work in the team environment. Next, most important is your positive attitude. See, individuals are born with certain attitudes. I said individuals are not born with certain attitudes. Attitudes are also not inherited, they are acquired, they are learned by the individuals from the situations I think they face in their life. The formation of attitude depends on, I think, various factors like your psychological factors, means your ideas, your values, your beliefs, your perceptions. Your family plays a very significant role in the primary stage of individuals, of the attitudes held by an individual. Society also plays an important role in influencing person's attitudes. A person's attitude also depends upon the financial status of a person, but the good thing is that attitudes can be changed. Attitude is a skill that can be acquired, practiced, and enhanced so as to change from negative to the positive attitude. There are also ways to develop positive attitude in a person. And the traits of people with the positive attitude, I think they are more optimistic, don't give up easily, always focus on good, always look at the brighter side of the things, ability to motivate self and others. A person with positive attitude has a solution centric approach, has more energy, has more happiness, and has greater inner power and strength. So positive attitude, I think, leads to happiness and success and can change your whole life. The another important soft skill is your teamwork, means working well with the other people from different disciplines, from different backgrounds, different age group, and people with different expertise to work together to accomplish a project. So it is very important, I think, in all spheres of life, whether it is your personal life, it is your professional life, I think we have to work in teams, work with other people on many occasions. Why we should be a team? Because together everyone achieves more. I think the team word itself, TEAM, together everyone achieves more, because you cannot do all the work alone, especially for bigger projects, or when you have a multiple task in your hand, you will have to collaborate with others. Also, it is true that two brains are better than one. It is 1 plus 1 is 11 and not 2. That kind of synergy is there in the teamwork. Teamwork always produces better results. These skills can also contribute to a more positive work environment. So, to become a great team player, you need to be comfortable working with people, take responsibility for the share of your work, and contribute at every step of the project. Aim is to bring out the best of everyone in the team. That is why we form the teams, because everyone is different and unique, but together we are able to achieve more. The shortcomings of one person can be overcome by the strength of the other person. We can see we usually we use the word team for the sports team, cricket team, because there's what somebody is a good bowler, somebody is a good batsman, or somebody is good wicket keeper. I think with the teamwork of all together, we are able to win the game, because teamwork is the pooling of strengths of different persons to meet the complex targets. Planning is necessary, but then execution is more important. So one of the things I think you will always hear your recruiters looking for is a team player. Employers want to hire candidates that are able to successfully work well with others and contribute towards the team goals. Now people are required to work together remotely over the phone and video calls. So employers want that you are able to work effectively in the team regardless of the environment you find yourself in. There are many things I think students can do to boost their teamwork skills, like volunteering to help your classmates with projects or assignments, or organizing an event in this institution. You can give them the group based learning in your classroom, or you can inculcate these skills in your students working with others in a local organization. Like you can encourage students to join maybe some NGO, or joining in a sports team, or maybe you can have a certain kind of clubs in your institutions, and you can give the joint responsibility to the students to work together. Another somebody said is the leadership skills. See, leadership is a soft skills that you can show even if you are not directly managing others. You are not a leader of a group, or you are not a leader of an organization. You are your own leader first, the leader of your life. First, you are to lead yourself to make and obey the rules of your life. So, having leadership skills simply means that you have the ability to take charge of a situation and make sure that it gets resolved. So leadership skills are important even if you might not use them very often, but once you enter the workforce you are bound to get responsibility of a project at some point or the other, and it is then crucial that you know how to get it done from others. If you are the leader, you need to take the responsibility for the welfare of your team members. If something goes wrong, you should step in and ensure that a solution is decided on and implemented. In most group of people, there needs to be a clear leader in order for the things to happen smoothly. Whether it is a small task or a bigger project, I think without any form of leadership, it will most likely not be successful. Leadership is, I think, important in every walk of life. A headless institution does not work. Even every family, every community, country needs a leader. As responsible adults, I think we are assuming leadership roles in our day to day life, directly or indirectly, actively or passively. We all influence someone somewhere in one form or the other. And leadership can be thought of as a collection of various soft skills which are presented before you, such as your general positive attitude, your curiosity to learn new things, your communication, your attitude, your outlook, your creativity skills, positive attitude, ability to inspire others, both I think self motivating as well as motivating others, your risk taking abilities, your decision making. I think if you have all these kind of abilities, people will look towards you as your leader. So professionals with strong skills in leadership, including how to bring out the best and inspire the teams as well as encourage the collaboration, I think are in demand by the industry. And lastly, coming to the last skill is the time management, getting smart with time. Time management is the art of simply being on time. That does not mean that coming at 9 o'clock and going at 5 o'clock, but it includes delivering the things in time as well. Being on time for work, being on time for meetings, being organized and methodical, able to plan the work well to meet the deadlines and the targets, And this can be achieved by managing your time every day, being organized enough to stick to the schedule you have to set out to follow, because proper time management takes pressure off you and ensures that you do not end up doing most of your work at the last minute. It certainly reduces your stress level. Again, it is your personality trait, because 24 hour is what we all have in common, but yet some people achieve more and some do not in those 24 hours, because they manage themselves in those 24 hours to do the things as per priority and as per the schedule. So in fact, time management is not we have to manage the time management is the self management. You have to get smart with time. It is about good planning, setting priorities, when to do what, how much time for an activity, and then also be proactive to take action for the best utilization of time. So time management is something that all students should learn, since they will need to use it both in the institute as well as when they enter the job force. Students have to learn to balance between different class assignments so that they can participate in the other extracurricular activities also. This is how they will learn to balance different job duties at the workplace also. So good time management skills are very crucial for students to succeed in their studies and beyond also. Students who can manage their time effectively can balance their academic work with other responsibilities such as extracurricular activities, or maybe the sports or the cultural events or any other event organized at the institution, or also maybe sometimes they can do the part-time jobs also. So they are also better able to meet the deadlines and accomplish the task efficiently. So this is very important that while being in institution, they should learn these time management skills. And coming to the last is the most important: commit to a lifetime of learning. I think perhaps the most important soft skill is the ability and willingness to learn new skills. हमारे में से कोई भी ऐसा नहीं होगा जो कह सके कि आई हैव लर्न ऑल द थिंग्स विच आई रिक्वायर इन माई लाइफ. Everybody, I think, should be a continuous learner. There is only one way to remain relevant in this world of work: commit to a lifetime of learning. Keep updating yourself as per the need of the system and to remain competitive. Having strong learning skills means understanding new concepts, new methods quickly, taking on the new tasks, adapting to the change, having the tendency to improve your knowledge and skills continually. So good learners are especially desirable to the companies that are at the forefront of innovations, because the people are self-motivated to learn new methods and technology, and that will reduce the cost of the training of the employer. That is why they see in their students that they are self-learner, they have the positive temperament to learn new things. So next, the most important, I have given you an overview about all those skills which are required by the industry, and we will be discussing each and every skill in detail in the different sessions what I have talked about, and we will be teaching some of the strategies how you can integrate those things in your classroom teaching. But broadly, I think I will give you an overview how to teach soft skills to your students. As I said, it cannot be taught in a traditional classroom setting. Integrate soft skills in the different subjects. Helping students to gain soft skills is not about developing a new curriculum. It is about teaching the same content, restructuring and incorporating the opportunities for the students to develop these skills into the organization of the class. For example, let us say if you change a simple strategy of your subject when you go to the classroom, you start with a subject or maybe a particular lesson, give them the basic fundamentals of that. As the subject advances, split into the small topics and give that small topics to the group of students to prepare. I tell you, by just changing this one strategy, indirectly, you will be developing a lot many skills in the students in a way, like when they have to prepare the topic, right? They will go to the library, or maybe they will search for the online journals to find out the material. This is helping them to develop their research skills. When they will work together, 4 5 people, जो भी group आपने बनाया है, it is the teamwork. They will be working in the groups. Then there may be some conflicts amongst them to put the material in the right direction. And yes, more important is when they are going through the material, they will, I think, first stage, they will download all the material. Then they will certainly analyze to put the appropriate material for the presentation. That analyzing, that critical thinking, that creative thinking comes in the students. Everyone wants to have the better presentations from the other, and while working in the group, they will have the different opinions also. There will be certain kind of conflicts will be there, but they will be able to resolve those conflicts. Then ultimately, I think they will identify one student which they think is the more good in presentation skills as the leader to make the presentation in the class. So while working in the group, I think they have learned many skills which you cannot think of. And when they will come in the class to present the seminar, I think those kind of communication skills, their presentation skills, their I think the more they will gain more knowledge to satisfy the queries of the other students. So indirectly, by changing one strategy, I think we will develop lot many skills amongst the students. So you have to integrate these skills in the different subject. Conduct seminars and workshops aimed at teaching the different soft skills. More emphasis on the project work, presentations from the students. I think encourage students to network, speak up in the forums, write blogs to enhance their knowledge and the writing skills. Then you may, I think, hold the brainstorm sessions in the class, assign the group exercises that will give people the opportunity to speak, listen, write, organize, and also lead. Create opportunities for students to innovate, both on their own and in the groups. Provide a learning environment where trust, initiative, and taking risks are encouraged. I think create an environment with your student that encourages new ideas and innovations. Design the learning experiences for application. Provide the opportunity to apply the concepts and the skills which they have learned in their class or in the laboratories, so as to enhance their competence, confidence, and creativity. Provide the content as a combination of various formats such as videos, blogs, text, documents, etc., to be integrated to the current learning modules. So demonstrate alternate paths to the content mastery. Cultivate a sense of responsibility by involving the students in the institutional events like the cultural programs, organizing the sports events, or maybe even for the industrialization. For example, you want to have an expert lecture of the industrial professional in your classroom. I think after talking to that expert, send your students to that industry expert. This way, I think this will increase their confidence, or they will be able to influence the other people with their knowledge also. This will also certainly enhance their employment. So I think the final word about these soft skills, I will say that soft skills come with awareness and practice. The first, you have to build awareness amongst the students about these skills. Change starts at the points of awareness. And the second most important is the practice. Soft skills are not something students can just study in a book to get better. Improvement takes practice over time. So finally, it will come with the practice. And as a teacher, I will say you must play the role of a mentors and ignite the imagination in your students for seeking into their exciting careers and guiding them on what it takes. So as a teacher, I think the role of teacher is very important in developing these skills amongst the students. So with these words, thank you very much